everyone, today I'm going to share 7 common capsule wardrobe mistakes that most people make on their journey. I made a few of them myself, so don't worry. Plus, I will also include some tips on how to avoid them. So that's what we're going to be talking about today, and let's get started. Now, the first mistake that I want to talk about is rigidly sticking to a number. When you're just a capsule wardrobe beginner and you look on YouTube videos, blog posts, there is very common advice of people telling you, follow this number, this is the best number. But in real life, it just doesn't work. It's not a good idea in the long run. And I think most people, when they start with capsule wardrobes, they come to that conclusion sooner or later. So if you feel like you have to follow a particular number of pieces to have a true capsule wardrobe, that's really not the truth. You can build your capsule wardrobe in any size that you want, whatever suits you and your lifestyle and your needs. If you're interested on how to create a capsule wardrobe in a non-restrictive way, I will link the video so you can check it out. But if all of that seems a bit like, I still need to have some kind of a restriction, otherwise I don't know where to stop, then my advice to you is to have some kind of an upper limit. You can have an upper limit for shoes or handbags, outerwear, clothes, whatever you want, but that will kind of stop you from going overboard to feeling stressed and overwhelmed. So that's another solution that you can try. But my advice to you is to trust the process, trust yourself, work on your style, and over time the numbers, they will sort themselves out. Trust me on this one. Now, mistake 2 that I want to talk about is to not giving yourself some kind of a shopping ban. Oh, if I would give myself a shopping ban, I would save so much money and so much time. But basically, I decluttered my wardrobe. I had a few gaps. I went out and I bought a few pieces, not a lot. But they were a mistake, they weren't the right fit for my closet, and then I decluttered a few and I bought a few, and it was just a bit of a time waster and money waster. That's why giving yourself a shopping ban can really save you from making mistakes like that, because instead of focusing on what you don't have and what is out there, you will start focusing on your closet and what you do have. So this is a really important shift that we have to make in order to improve our shopping habits and also improve our style. So if you feel like you're in position that you're buying pieces that don't really work for you, my advice to you is to experiment with some kind of a shopping ban. It can be for 2 weeks, a month, 2 months, 3 months, something like that. You can experiment and really try to focus on the items that you already have. Use the internet, your good friend, Pinterest, YouTube, Google for some inspiration if you need to style certain pieces in your closet. But yeah, this is a really great hack to speed up the process of finding your style and improve your shopping habits at the same time. Obviously, it's not a way of living. Now I'm not giving myself shopping bans or restrictions because I really trust myself that I know my style really well, so I don't have to do something like that. But in the beginning, when you're just starting out, this can be a lifesaver. So yeah, try and experiment with this one. Now, mistake number 3, it's not knowing your color palette. This is really important to understand when you're building your capsule wardrobe. Yes, I must say it takes some time and some figuring out to do to really understand your color palette, but you still have to have some kind of idea what you wear the most, what you don't actually like. By observing what you love and what you don't, you will kind of start building some kind of a color palette for your wardrobe. That will prevent you from impulse shopping or unnecessary shopping. Your wardrobe, it's going to be much smaller and much more easier to mix and match that way. So building your favorite color palette is really important. I have a plan to do a video on this very soon, so stay tuned. But yeah, you have to have some kind of idea of which colors you love and which you don't in order to build a great capsule wardrobe. Now, mistake number 4 is having too many duplicates in your closet. We don't really need 5 white t-shirts and 6 distressed jeans and 4 black skirts, except if they are wildly different, we really don't need them in our closet. One obvious thing is because it's not very simple, getting ready in the morning is stressful and overwhelming. So that's the first thing. But the second more important thing is you won't really know what your closet needs. If you have a lot of, let's say, white t-shirts, you may think, oh, I have so many different tops, and then you feel like you have nothing to wear because you have so many duplicates that no matter which white t-shirt you put on, you kind of feel you get the same look. So we want to avoid that. We want to have the smallest amount of pieces that do the most amount of work, and by letting go of all the different duplicates, you will actually have a true representation of what your closet needs and what it doesn't. So my advice to you is to just keep 1 or 2 favorite pieces of a particular style and color and declutter for the rest, because that will really open your eyes in terms of the closet, and you will see, okay, this is how many pieces I can actually work with, and yeah, it's just gonna be much easier to build your style that way. Now, mistake number 5 is very common, and that is copying other capsules. We really don't want to be copying what other people are doing because we have different lifestyles, different body types, different budgets, different preferences, everything. We even live in different countries with different stores, so it's very hard to copy someone and actually be happy with this. I know it can take some time to find our personal style, and sometimes we just feel like, oh, I don't want to wait anymore, and we think the shortcut is going to be copying someone else, but that never really works. The best thing is to observe yourself and work on your style. I will link a video if you're really interested in that on how to finding your personal look. But copying other people's capsule wardrobes, it's not the answer. And also, when I talked about color palettes, don't copy other people's color palettes, because even if they're very similar, chances are your color palette is going to be very unique to you, very personal to you. It's going to change with seasons. So be patient. For me, it took me some time to get here, but be patient, and in the long run, you're gonna be much better off. Now, mistake number 6 is to creating a capsule wardrobe for your fantasy self that doesn't exist or will never come true. I already talked about the idea of fantasy self in my shopping tips video, but here I have to mention it again, because very often we can create capsule wardrobe for a person that doesn't really exist, for a person that we want to become, not that we truly are, not for our lifestyle or our needs. So if you feel like your capsule wardrobe doesn't really represent your lifestyle, and you feel like you keep buying pieces you're not really wearing on a daily basis, then I suggest that you take a piece of paper and write down your activities. How many times a day you work, how many times you socialize, do you have any particular hobbies? Write your activities on a list of paper so you can roughly see how many hours a week you spend in different categories, and that will help you understand what your wardrobe needs. But for me, that wasn't necessarily enough, because I still wanted to be a little bit more fancier. So I asked myself, how can I incorporate an idea of my fantasy self into my everyday life? And here the biggest problem that I had are high heels. I kept buying high heels. I never wore them. I decluttered them, and then I bought a few more. It was just ridiculous. So I asked myself, what do I love about high heels? How do I feel when I wear them? And the answer was, I feel elegant and polished and successful. That's just what came to mind. And then I asked myself, how can I achieve that without wearing high heels? Immediately, 2 things came to mind: blazers and fancy flats. So luckily, I already had some blazers in my closet, but I always reserved them for special occasions. I never really wore them on an everyday basis. But when I did this little exercise, I gave myself permission to wear them all the time, even with sneakers. I love blazers. And the second thing is I bought 2 designer pairs of really fancy ballerinas. So whenever I want to get that more polished and elegant look, I just wear those shoes. So if you have a fantasy version of yourself that you have trouble letting go, then try doing this little exercise. Plus something just giving yourself permission to wear fancy things on an everyday basis, it's enough. I know a lot of people, we grew up thinking you can only wear something special on a special day, but honestly, every day should be a special day. We shouldn't wait to feel our best. So if you have some items that you're just reserving for the best days, give yourself permission to wear them on a daily basis. Now, the 7th mistake is wanting to have a perfect wardrobe, because spoiler alert, it doesn't exist. Yeah, I had to find out that the hard way. I really wanted a perfect wardrobe, but it doesn't exist. Our lifestyle changes, our preferences, they change sometimes a little bit. Our body can change a little bit. Our budget sometimes doesn't allow us to buy new pieces or add new pieces. All of those different things, they have an influence on our wardrobe, and that's absolutely fine. I really believe as long as we have 80 to 95% of our wardrobe that we absolutely love, that should be enough so we feel in love with our wardrobe. Not every single piece has to be an absolute stunner, an absolute amazing, gorgeous piece. As soon as I realized that, my shopping dropped down tremendously, because before I constantly upgraded items because I thought I'm gonna get to a spot where you feel absolutely happy with 100% of your wardrobe, everything is perfect, and I never got there. So now I know better, and I know that as long as I enjoyed the majority of my closet, I'm absolutely fine, and I'm in no rush anymore to get to that perfect wardrobe that doesn't exist. I hope this video helps you with your capsule wardrobe. If you enjoyed this video, let me know in the comments down below and give this a thumbs up, and I will see you next time.